Good morning, Jacked and Stacked, and everyone who's watching this channel right now. Sorry for the shaky camera and everything, because I'm very busy. I'll explain shortly why I'm very busy and why I've got to make this video this way. Normally I don't make videos like this. I normally have a quiet place, and I make it much more sort of visually pleasing. Anyway, the joke is, ironically, I'm coming to your side of the pond on Friday. I live in London. You can hear by my accent I'm British. I got to fly to Ireland tomorrow. My youngest son, I'm taking him to America for a birthday present. So I'm going to fly to Dublin. I got fly to Dublin, pick up my son, spend a day in Ireland, and then Friday we're flying to New York. And then later on we're going down to Pennsylvania to see his big sis and his nieces and nephew, which are my grandchildren. So it's a big birthday present thrown in with a family visit. So hence why I got to do the video this way, because as you know, if anyone who's traveled, you got a shitload of things to do before you travel, and I just don't have the time to do this video properly. Anyway, right, so my reaction, I've got so much to say. It's easy for just make a video, because if I leave a comment, I'll be writing a book. So let's start off with me and my qualifications before I come to this guy who claims that looks doesn't matter. I've got so much to say on that. Anyway, right, so me. My name is Ron. I have a channel, microscopic channel. I'm 58 years old, but I'm a bit unusual as a 58-year-old. I'm physically fitter than the average man. If you check out my channels, you'll see I've worked as a pro dancer for thick end of 20 odd years. You'll see I've got a high degree of dance skills. I've worked as a male stripper, I've worked as a pro dancer, I've worked as a roller dancer, I've worked doing tricks on poles. Coming to the male stripper side. Here in the UK, there's two sides of the male stripping industry. You got the erotic stripper, which traditionally is a guy who has above average looks, which is not me. That would be your Chad and your Tyrone, who's the erotic stripper. I am the game for a laugh stripper, the fun stripper, was the fun stripper. So I've got a lot of, where I make up for my lack of above average looks, I have a show that has a lot of comedy overtone, and I do a lot of performing arts, so I make up for what I lack in looks, right? And that's how I've been sort of quite busy in the industry, because my show is very entertaining if you were to watch it. Even if you're a straight man, I can still entertain a straight person thinking, wow, you know, I'm not homo, but that what he did was really good. Anyway, so that's my qualifications on the subject. Coming now to looks, I've made a video about this. If I had to associate looks with music, I would say a Chad, a white guy with above average looks, he would be mainstream pop, which appeals to a large demographic of people. So mainstream pop has a wide appeal, very wide appeal. A Tyrone, which is above looking average black guy, I would call him R&B and hip hop. Now me, I class myself as all things funky. I'm underground funk, be it retro funk, b-boy funk, funky house music. Whereas funk music, it has a fan base, but it doesn't appeal to the masses. It doesn't have a wide appeal. So I have a look that appeals to some women. I am some women's type, but I'm not most women's type. So I have no problem getting laid for the women who likes my type of look. So that's my qualification. So being 58 years old, I am old school. Back in the day, in the late 70s up to the late 90s, all we had was cold approach. There was no internet dating sites and stuff like that. Okay, you had social circles, but most of your meetups was cold approach. So I know what I'm talking about. So I'm very qualified in this. Right. So let's get to our man who says that looks doesn't matter. My response to that, first off, is really looks don't matter. All you need is game. Really? Speaking from a man who has a lot of game, even back in the day, I would tell you looks matters. Looks has always matter. I mean, this guy's got products to sell, and I hate to call him a scammer, but he's coming across as a scammer to me. I mean, listen, one, I've given a breakdown in terms of looks regard to music. So not everyone's into underground funk, right? I haven't even touched on race. Here in the UK, we mix a lot more than you guys in America. You know, the interracial dating, especially in London, has the highest ratio anywhere on the planet. But even still, there's a lot of white women who's not into black men. Even though black men statistically are the second most sought after men on the planet, there's still a lot of women who won't do a black guy, whether he's a Tyrone, normie, or whatever, right? So looks matters. I'm sorry, looks matters. In terms of the business about poison in the well, the problem with cold approach and women seeing you, he misinterpreted that, because by saying not everyone's looking at you, yes, he has a point there. However, sorry for the lighting. Sorry, I do apologize for the lighting. Women see a whole lot more than we give them credit for, because I have also recorded an audiobook, Tales from the Little Black Book, One Man's Journey on a Dating Scene, and I talk about the different types of men. In terms of, like, you got the William the Conqueror, who has the attitude of try again. Then you have the Peter Proud, which I fall into that category. Whereas I would chase a woman, but I'd give my 50% has to be met with at least 30% return of effort, right? And then you got the Desperate Dans, who plays a numbers game. Their attitude is, approach 100 women, I'm gonna get laid from out of one. And then you got the Billy Bashful, who's shy, right? The shy guy. So I'll break it down to four categories, right? So the Desperate Dans, who play the numbers games, right? I've had women tell me this. They've seen the Desperate Dans go from woman to woman to woman, and your point is correct, right? Just because a woman's not looking at you doesn't mean she doesn't see you, right? So I'm afraid you are more seen. I mean, this is why I was listening to an incel video where he was interviewing a pickup artist, and he was saying, he was telling the incels, you gotta approach 20 women in a night to improve your game. I said 20 women? 20? Is he having a fucking laugh? 20 women? By the time you get to woman number 4, you've already got a bad rep already. Trust me on that one. Trust me on that one. So this business of game, you only need game. I tell you what, I'd like to see him come over here and show me his game. Show me his game. And this is coming from a guy who's had more action than the average guy will ever see in their lives. And I'm not, as you could see, I'm no Tyrone, I'm no Chad, but I've had way more fun than the average guy would ever see in his life, right? So I know what I'm talking about. I hate to say this. This guy sounds like a scam artist. Looks don't matter. Looks don't matter. Come on. Really? $1,000? What's that in pounds? That's something like, maybe, I think, just short of £900 in conversion money. So let's call it £900. £900. Man, I'm in the wrong game. You know, maybe I should start a business ripping guys off. You know, fucking hell, 900 quid for a course to tell guys how to approach. Oh yeah, it's another thing. In my heyday, I had a 3 questions rule. I'd approach a woman, and I said that's what I wanted to say. Cold approach or no cold approach. A woman would show you choosing signals. Choosing signals is very important, whether you do cold approach or not. Because cold approach, 1, let's say I give a woman a gentle tap on the shoulder. She looks at me. I've got 1 or 2 choices. I could just smile and say hello, or I could be silly and go, do something silly and see her reaction. 1, I've got to see her reaction. Got to see her reaction to see my face for the first time. Her reaction is going to show me whether I'm getting choosing signals or not, right? 2, conversation. I have a 3 questions rule. I ask her name. I ask her what she does for a living. I ask her what area does she live in. But, you know, if she lives in London, what part of London, or where in the world she lives. And I purposely don't tell her anything about myself. The reason why I do that is because if the woman is genuinely interested in you, she will ask you questions. That's another part of the choosing signals. She will ask questions. She will ask you, oh, so what's your name? Where do you live? What do you do for a living? And it'll be a game of table tennis. You throw your conversation ball to her. If she's interested, she'll bat the conversation back to you. Then you bat it back to her, and before you know it, you're playing table tennis. Bat, 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 bat. If the woman's not interested, then it'll be like she's been arrested and she's been interrogated by a detective. And you're asking questions and she's just answering. And by the time you get to your 3rd question, if she hasn't asked you any questions, right, you just bid her a good night, wish her a good night, and you say, you know, hopefully I'll catch up to you later, and you disappear and you go. And if later on she gives you some choosing signals, because sometimes when you just appear out of nowhere, you've surprised the woman, and the woman hasn't had time to digest and take in everything, and sometimes they need a little bit of time to work out what the hell's happened. So when you say, okay, well, hopefully I'll see you later, and you go, they see you again. Sometimes they may give you a smile, and then they give you choosing signals. Most of the time, they won't give you choosing signals if you haven't had any answers. And you know, as you Americans say, it's a wrap. So looks do matter. Looks matter. And and this is coming from an old school, I wouldn't call myself a player, an old school man who's got plenty of experience, plenty of kills, and yeah, so I know what I'm talking about. And before anybody says, yeah, but what standard of women have you been pulling, right? Okay, let me come to that. Again, I'm a bit unusual. I like women thick set. I'm into the thick, voluptuous women. I like them on the heavier side. Not large, but I like them. I like them on the thick side. So sort of women I would go for, most of you guys wouldn't go for. I prefer the pretty girl next door type. That's the type I like. I've never been mesmerized or attracted to the bad bee. I've always admired, but I've never desired, because I find the so-called bad bee, they just look good. I don't find them fun. I don't find them endearing. I've never been attracted to cold, stuck-up, vain. I've never the vibes that most of them give off. I've never found that attractive, and they don't come across as sexy, you know. And I'm not going to be straight up. Some of the wildest, dirtiest sex I've had, unfortunately, with some women, you know, they've been with women that, not what I would have as a girlfriend, but like, well, we won't won't go there. We won't go into that too much. But anyway, however, my ideal would be your pretty girl next door. You're 5, at best 7 out of 10, and that's what I like. That's what gets my dick turned on. So to you guys who wants to chase the bad bees and 9, 10, go for it. Knock yourself out. But my question to you guys is, apart from an ego boost, apart from an arm trophy, what extra are you getting from a bad bee? And some of you would say, more chance of passing on good genes and having good looking children, right? All 3 of my children, right? Unfortunately, I've made the black man's curse of having 3 children with 3 different women, but all 3 of my children, including my grandchildren, are very good looking, and the women, all of them, are just average looking. I could, again, if you go through some of my videos, you'll see pictures of how my kids used to look, because I didn't really want to put pictures of them now, because how they look now, because to be fair to them, they may not want their current picture on social media. So I've put pictures of when they were children. However, it doesn't take a scientist to figure out that they're good looking kids. So that business about genetics is not guaranteed, you know. But however, if a bad bee is your thing, go for it. If that is your thing. So, you know, do you, I'm happy for you. All right, so it's 16 minutes long. Sorry if it's a long video, but like I said, I had a lot to say on this matter, and this video right now is a direct response to Jack and Stacked. Oh, going through a red light. Jack and Stacked response to the guy who's responded to his video. So this video is not necessarily, yeah, I mean, you could enjoy watching it if you haven't watched the video, but this is a direct response video I'm making. So thank you very much, and have a good day. And Jacked and Stacked, I enjoy your content, and thank you for entertaining me while I'm on the road. Again, I have to apologize for the quality of this video. As I said, I've got a lot of things to do. I've got to go to the airport tonight, spend the night in the airport because my flight's early in the morning. I've got a lot ahead of me, so yeah. And over here in the UK, there's chaos in the airports because of the pandemic. The airports, they didn't prepare for the recovery. During the pandemic, they laid a lot of people off, and you may or may not know the UK has come out of is first out of the pandemic. We've come back to normal, but what they didn't do, they didn't prepare for the demand in flights, so they haven't got enough people in time for the demand. So at the moment, there's a lot of stress going on over here, and I'm waffling on, so I've got to go. Thank you very much, and hopefully, well, have a good day, everybody. Right, okay, bye.